What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for a loan report. We haven't done one of these in a while, so we're going to go and look and keep up with our players out on loan, and most of them absolutely smashing it at their respective clubs. And we're going to start off looking at the boys at Leyton Orient. We all saw that game against Manchester City at the Cup, but that was just a small snippet of what they are actually doing. And yeah, both of them are really smashing it. They really are. And we're going to start off looking at Josh Keeley. Again, he had a stunning game against Manchester City, and he has kept 13 clean sheets for Leyton Orient this season in League One. They are really pushing up to nearly...
And how many starts has he had?
So he's played 19. He started 19 games, and he's kept 13 clean sheets, I believe.
That's probably including cup games.
I'm just trying to see where the stat is. So he's had 0 errors leading to a shot, 1 error leading to a goal, which I'm not too sure how that works.
I don't know.
How can you only have 1 error leading to a goal but no errors leading to a shot?
Because it led to a goal. So
Isn't that a shot though?
But I'm guessing what they call as shots is ones that didn't lead to goals.
Okay. Anyway, 1.1 clearance per game, 9.8 balls recovered per game.
That's pretty good.
13 clean sheets. I'm not sure if this is in all comps or just the league, but still, it's a very impressive stat.
So he's only conceded a goal in 6 games,
which is mad.
Out of 19. That is nuts. And also considering he came into a team that was struggling. You know, they weren't doing that well, and as you say, they're right on the precipice now of the playoffs. I think they're 1 point behind whoever it is in that playoff position, and you know, to come into that kind of environment as a young keeper and perform like he's done and really revolutionise that defence and get them on this mad winning run, which they're on, is seriously impressive. Seriously impressive.
Look at that heat map as well. Look how far he comes out, and you can see his sweeping game is definitely strong, but they love him over there at Leyton Orient. And as a 21-year-old keeper, you know, there were question marks about, you know, can he go to the Championship next season? Can he even go to a Premier League team? But against a Man City team that weren't a weak Man City team, I think he did really well.
He did very well, made a lot of very crucial saves. I would say he'll be a bit disappointed with the winner. Maybe he feel like he could have done a bit better with it. But I thought overall it was phenomenal performance from him. And the large part of that game, he was keeping Orient kind of in the game and keeping them kind of heading to extra time at certain points and making lots of very crucial saves. And in fact, you look at the first goal, you know, what can he do about it? A deflection just goes in. And throughout the season, I remember, as I've said, I watched him for one game at Barnet. He does look a very confident lad, very much comfortable coming out of his box with the ball at his feet. Doesn't look to be rushing or anything like that. Very comfortable with the ball there, and he's taken up to League One now and performing at an extremely high level. So I'm excited what the future holds. If they get promoted, I would like to see him maybe carry on there and spend another season on loan at the Championship with Orient.
Yeah, and he's even had goal contributions. So he scored that goal, that keep in the FA Cup against Oldham. And he also got an assist against Wigan as well. So, I mean, he's got more goal contributions than someone like Raheem Sterling this season.
Crazy to think about. Well, fair play to him. Very exciting prospect. Maybe it's only a matter of time before Ireland come calling. Senior side, potentially. I don't know who their keeper is now. But I think it's maybe it's still Bazunu. I think I mean, Keeley will probably fancy his chances there of being Ireland's number 1. So I hope he keeps going from strength to strength because it's really, really exciting.
Yeah. So obviously these stats are brought to you by SofaScore. Link is in the description and QR code on screen for you to go and download. But let's go and look at the star boy, which is Jamie Donnelly. You know, I was quite excited when I saw Jamie Donnelly was going out on loan. I thought maybe he could have got a loan to maybe a Championship side with what he's shown at Spurs, particularly in pre-season. I thought he looked really good. First part of his loan spell, it didn't really go too well. You know, he was flattering to deceive a little bit, not really getting into the game, but then something just clicked halfway through the season and he's become a standout performer for not only Leyton Orient but in the whole league. To be honest, he's been brilliant. And if we look at some of his statistics by SofaScore, that's his heat map throughout the season, literally everywhere. 22 games, 18 starts, 71 minutes on average per game. He's been on SofaScore's Team of the Week in League One 4 times. 5 goals, and I believe, that's 5 goals in total across all competitions. Goals per game 0.2, shots per game 1.3, shots on target per game 0.4, big chances missed throughout the season 2, 5 assists, 7 big chances created, 1.5 key passes per game as well. And I mean, some of his goal catalogue this season as well for Leyton Orient has been sensational. Obviously everyone was going to go back to the goal against Man City, which actually today it's been announced he's up for goal of the round in the FA Cup.
He has to win it.
Yeah, exactly. It's no surprise. To be honest, they didn't even give him the goal.
I know, but surely it'll be the first time an own goal ever wins goal of the round or something that happens. But I think it's fully deserved because of what a strike that was on that occasion as well. But as you say, he scored 3 kicks. He scored a free kick.
I saw that one against Exeter. I think he scored a goal against Exeter, like a volley from the edge of the box. I think it was brilliant.
He's got a wand of a left foot. He's an absolute magician. And what's so great is that he's translating that form we saw at youth level into men's football. And as you say, this has only really been happening as well since the beginning of December, where the first part, it was a real struggle for him to adjust, I think, to men's football. And look, that can happen for any young player. You got to remember, this is his first loan spell. And even though he's 20, he's only been used to youth level. So it's a big adjustment. It's a big kind of upgrade. And ever since he's kind of got acclimatized and to that kind of level, he's not looked back, and he's really showing those levels that we saw at youth level, and that is the most exciting thing. And a lot of people were excited about him last season, and that excitement's only growing now with as you say, his goal catalogue, some of his assists as well. He did that, I think it was against Exeter as well. He did this like lovely driven volleyed pass, like David Silva-esque, it was right into the path of the Orient player, and who buried it. And as you say, he scored a brilliant free kick, but he's got an unbelievable long-range strike. And I think a lot of other clubs are going to start to take notice of the form he's on. And it'll be interesting to see what we do with him next season, whether we bring him into the first team or maybe get him a higher loan deal. Either way, I think he's got a bright future ahead of him.
And it's interesting with the form that you're talking about since the start of December, right? And since the start of December, like I speak regularly to a Leyton Orient fan, and he was telling me, like, Jamie Don, this was before the goal contributions really started to come out of regularity, and he was telling me that you can just see there's something there, and he's playing unbelievable balls, and he's playing players through on goal, and he really should have a lot more assists, and he's having shots from range that's hitting the bar or just going wide, and he's getting really unlucky with not having too many goal contributions. And then once he got one, they just seem to flood in, which is brilliant to see. I mean, in terms of what I want to see from Jamie Donnelly, first of all, I want to see him carry on this form, obviously, until now, until the end of the season. But I think if he does carry on this form from now until the end of the season, I want to see him be part of the first team next season. I think he can skip that championship level and come straight in.
Yeah, I
20
think,
years of age.
Yeah, no. As from that point of view, we've brought in a lot of players of that similar age, don't we, in our squad? So if he's good enough, I think what I'd like to see is him be a bit like what we did last summer, or was it 2 summers ago? Last summer, him be part of like the pre-season. I know he was playing at left back a lot in the pre-season just been, but I think I want to see him be part of that pre-season squad in his right position in midfield, and see how he does and see how he acclimatizes. And if we really think, okay, he's ready for this step up to the Premier League, then allow him to be part of the first team. If we still feel like he needs more time to develop, send him out on loan. But I think he should be part of the pre-season team for sure.
Next up, we're going to look at George Abbott, who's out on loan at Notts County. Again, another player that's really stepped to upper level since going out on loan. He was the captain of the under-21s last season in their historic campaign. Look at this heat map from George Abbott throughout the season. Literally you talk about blade of grass, that is every blade of grass for George Abbott. He's played 24 games, started 22 of them, 84 minutes per game, 3 team of the weeks from SofaScore, 3 goals and some bangers in there as well. It seems like he doesn't score too many goals, but when he does score them, they are something special. So it's 0.1 goals per game, 1.2 shots per game, 0.4 shots on target per game, 1 big chance missed, 3 assists, 3 big chances created, 1 key pass per game as well. So, I mean, it looks like George Abbott is really doing well at Notts County at the moment.
If you just look at his form as well, I know it's only a SofaScore rating, but you go to his last few games, look at that, just like 8, 7, high 7s. Like, he's clearly, well, at least statistically, performing extremely well. Like, and he's just a guy who's an all-action kind of midfielder. Obviously, when he was at the under-21s and when he had small chances in friendlies, we weren't really sure what his best position is. He was a midfielder in the youth league, but he was played at fullback a bit, even up front sometimes. Like, I think Spurs were maybe not sure is he a defensive midfielder, like, or what he is, but I think he's like playing more of like a number 8 kind of box to box midfielder for Notts County, and he's performing at an unbelievably high level. And as you say, he's providing goal contributions. I think his defensive numbers I'm reading are really, really strong as well, like over 2 tackles a game, interceptions,
1.6 interceptions a game, 2.4 tackles per game, 0.2 possession won in the final third, 4.2 ball recoveries per game, 1.3 clearances per game. So yeah, brilliant stuff.
Yeah, so really strong defensive numbers. So, and as you see some of the goals he scored, the technique on them, some of these volleys and half volleys from the edge of the area into hitting the top corners, astonishing. And he's clearly got leadership abilities. As you say, he was captain of the under-21 side last season, and he's taken that into League One form. And I think he's League Two, and he's one who's been performing pretty much for the whole year very consistently. And being really, really at a high level, and they clearly love him there. So he scored as well in the FA Cup from a similar range to Donnelly, albeit a different circumstance, but a really good quality finish, that one as well. So another one who's so encouraging in his development. So I think probably another loan move at a high level next season. He's still 19 and he's playing in League Two and not League One, so a bit of a drop. But I think another player who can be what we're rightly very excited about, I think.
Yeah. Do you think if he
could fit what we want as well in terms of that intensity and how he plays?
Do you think that he goes a steps up to League One, or he maybe bypasses that and goes to the Championship
I think
next season?
Championship loan, I would say.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? So that's George Abbott. Next one, we're just going to look at Will Lancashire. I know he hasn't played many minutes, but he's just joined West Brom. Had one game there, came on as a sub against Sheffield Wednesday. Well, he's actually played another game here.
He played last night.
Last night. Did he start? No, he came off the bench. I didn't even know he played last night. He came on the 56th minute for Johnston. Let's see his individual game numbers from yesterday. So 34 minutes, 2 shots, 1 blocked, 1 off target. He only had 8 touches, to be fair. 3 out of 4 accurate passes. Didn't look like he was too heavily involved yesterday, to be fair. But his first game, West Brom fans really liked the look of him, and they were kind of waxing lyrical. Got definitely involved in the goal that they scored later on in the game.
Got a pre-assist, as they call it, and hopefully starts getting some more starts between now and the end of the season. Obviously, Adam Armstrong they've brought in, who's obviously a striker who's got Premier League experience. So as a 19-year-old kid, it's still going to be tough to oust him, but hopefully he makes the most of his periods off the bench and then earns his starts. And as you say, encouraging opening game, but as you say, not much to go on it. But we know in his cameos for Tottenham early in the season, he looks like a definite prospect. Got banged in the goals last year for under-21s, I think over 30 goals. So yeah, it's really interesting to see how he gets on in the Championship, but it's still very early days.
Yeah. Let's go and talk about Manor Solomon, because he's a player that really is taking the Championship by storm this season. Unbelievable numbers that he's providing. That's his heat map for Leeds, and they love him down there. They absolutely love him. He's actually gone ahead of Wilfred Gnonto in the pecking order at Leeds. They seem to like him a lot more than him, and I was really impressed with Gnonto over the last couple of seasons. He's one of the top performing players on current form in the Championship. He's played 25 games, started 16 of them, been in SofaScore's Team of the Week 3 times, 7 goals, 5.07 expected goals, 0.3 goals per game, 1.3 shots per game, 0.6 shots on target per game, 4 big chances missed, 7 assists, 3.75 expected assists, 11 big chances created, 1.4 key passes per game as well. This guy, he is on mad form. He really is. You look at this.
Yeah.
Last game, golden assist against Watford, nothing against Leeds, and a goal against Coventry, an assist against Coventry, a goal against Leeds, a goal against Norwich, an assist, goal against Sheffield Wednesday, assist against Harrogate. I mean, this guy is providing for them literally week in, week out, every single game.
9 goal contributions in his last 9 games.
Yeah.
Which is great form. This is what he needed, I think. This is what I said at the beginning of the season. He needs a loan move like this where he plays regularly, and obviously after being out for a long time, I think last season and even in pre-season he was struggling with confidence. You could really see it. Did he really
fitness mainly? Fitness
and I think both. And he just needs to go to a level where he can just show that he's way above that level and he's too good for that level, and show that he can just get that confidence back. Get that confidence to flow through him again. And I think, again, another player who beginning of the season was a bit iffy and was maybe struggling with either confidence or fitness, but since he's hit that kind of period where he's now in the team consistently, he's trusted and he's getting regular goal contributions, he's absolutely flying. Teams can't handle him at the moment down there in the Championship. I think he is proving right now he's too good for that level. 14 goal contributions in 16 starts for Leeds this season, which is unbelievable numbers, and he's going from strength to strength. As you say, the Leeds fans are falling in love with him. What I like about him is if you look at the goals, they're really good goals, but a lot of them, he scored some nice goals, but a lot of these goals are like tap into the back post and him making those runs, which actually he would be making in maybe how we're playing in Ange's system, like balls across the face to goal, and he's just these kind of tactical runs which you need to make to kind of get those goal contributions. Goal. Yeah, a lot of them, and those things get overlooked, but not everyone does those things, and he's been doing that a lot for Leeds, and he's absolutely flying at the moment. And if he carries on this form again for now to the end of the season, there's a good chance maybe we do bring him back, because he's showing he can really contribute right now. And if he's showing he's too good for that level, it would be silly to overlook that. And another player we should maybe take in pre-season and see how he does.
Yeah.
And if not, and if we decide we want to move him on, we should get a good fee for him now.
Yeah. And you're talking about the SofaScore rating for George Abbott. I mean, just look at the ones for Manor Solomon. 8.7 last game, 7.1, 8.7, 7.5, 7, 8, 7.8, 7.2. Against Oxford, he got 9.5. I mean, the ratings are really, SofaScore are really rating him highly on every single match performance for him.
And you can see, it says December, he averaged a 7.5 for the whole December. January 7.4. February, he's averaging an 8. Which is crazy. I don't know how many games he played in February. He's played 4 games in February. He's averaging over 8.
Yeah, so he's got, in February alone, he's got 7.5, 2 8.7s and a 7.1.
Fantastic. So really, really happy for him. And hopefully this is the start of him getting his career back on track. I really hope so.
Yeah, I hope so as well. Because I did, he didn't play too much for Tottenham. He played last season until he got injured. And, it always goes back to that Burnley game where he smashed out, got like 2 assists on the day. But in every other game, you could see he's got dribbling ability, but didn't really show too much. But hopefully this is the confidence boost he needs. Hopefully he can stay fit from now until the end of the season and then come back to Tottenham a stronger player with a point to prove.
100%.
Now let's go and look at the boys out in Belgium. Let's go and look at Alfie Devine up first. Unfortunately, Alfie Devine just recently got an injury. He's out for the next 4 to 6 weeks with a hamstring. Which is very unfortunate because he was having a pretty good season. That's his heat map out in Belgium. I think he plays like the number 10 or a box-to-box or maybe a hybrid role of the two. 19 games, 18 starts, 2 team of the weeks, 4 goals, 3.26 expected goals, 2.2 shots per game, 0.8 shots on target per game, 1 big chances created, 1 key pass per game, 0 assists. But I think this loan move again would be doing Alfie the world of good.
Yeah, for sure. And again, it's top level football. I know it's the Belgian league, but it's still the highest level. So in that country, so it's still going to be a step up for him from what he's been playing before. And I think he's acquitted himself well. The injury is obviously really bad, and that's a massive blow for him. And hopefully he still has some game time between now and the end of the season and gets back to full fitness. But I think it's really encouraging. Is it enough? Has he been good enough to suggest he can come into the first team next year? I think not sure yet. Again, another player who will probably want to see in pre-season. But again, another player who is showing he's definitely got a good career ahead of him, I think, and he's showing that he's capable of making that step up from youth to men's team football, which pretty much every loanee at the moment we're talking about is showing that ability. So that is the most crucial thing you want from a loan, is showing, can you make that step up? Do you have that ability? And Devine is definitely doing that as well. So really good stuff.
Yeah, and his teammate, Luka Vuskovic, let me just try and find him. He's also I mean, I think out of all our loan players, he's got the most goal contributions, or the most goals, should I say, which is mad to think about because he's a centre-back and a 17-year-old centre-back as well. I mean, just look at that bar for his performances. It's madness. In terms of his stats, 7.33 average SofaScore rating. Look at that heat map for a centre-back.
Crazy.
Total games played 23, started all of them, 3 teams of the week, 6 goals, 2.11 expected goals, 0.3 goals a game, 1.3 shots per game. 1.3 shots per game as a centre-back. 0.6 shots on target per game, 1 big chances missed, 1 assist as well, 0.95 expected assists, 0.4 key passes a game as well for Luka Vuskovic. Let's look at his defending numbers.
And also shots on target, 0.6. Every other game he's having a shot on target.
Which is mad.
And 0.4 key passes. So every other game he's creating a chance.
3 clean sheets, 1 interception per game, 0.8 tackles per game, 0.09 possession won in the final third, 5.6 ball recoveries per game, 0.4 he's been dribbled past, 5.8 clearances per game, 0 errors leading to a shot, 0 errors leading to a goal, but he has conceded 1 penalty throughout his time there as well. But I mean, for a 17-year-old centre-back, I mean, for like a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, 22-year-old centre-back, these would be good numbers.
I think the most impressive one here is his aerial duels won, 70% for a 17-year-old. That is like, he is aerially dominant. And he's only going to get more dominant.
Massive.
Yeah, and he's only going to get more dominant the more he grows and the older he gets. And that's the most impressive and encouraging thing. The guy is a man mountain. He's been scoring scissor kicks. He's been scoring unbelievable headers from corners. He's been taking shots I've seen from like 30 yards where they're like dipping and the keepers had to make brilliant saves. He's unbelievable at playing out the back. He's unbelievable defender as well. He's a star in the making. And if there's any player right now who I think who's got that ability, even at this young age, to potentially make it in the first team, and we want around, it might be him, because I know he's only played in these leagues, and I know obviously Premier League is going to be a step up from these leagues, but it seems as though this league is kind of too easy for him already, and I think he's ready for that step up. He's getting there, and he is an absolute star in the making for what I'm seeing at the moment. He's dominating that league.
Yeah, and every league he goes in, he seems to dominate, and he takes a step up every time. So he started off the Croatian league, and then he went to the Polish league, and now he's in the Belgian league, and every single league just seems to be way too easy for him. At the age of 17 he is now, so that means he was in the Croatian league at 15, 16, and then 16 in the Polish league, now 17 in the Belgian league.
And some of the teams he scored against are some of the top teams. So he scored against Anderlecht this season, and he scored against Club Brugge, and he's also got a brace in one other game. So this guy can show he can mix it. And these are Champions League teams. Bruges just beat Atalanta last night in the Champions League. So these aren't any mugs that they're playing against. He's scoring goals against them regularly. So unbelievable.
Yeah, and in that game against Club Brugge, it was actually Devine and Vuskovic both scored in that game, which was great to see. But do you think Vuskovic comes straight into the first team next season, or do you think maybe a loan in maybe Championship football or something just to get him acclimatised to English football?
I think there's a good chance he might come into the first team, I think there's a good chance of all of them. Again, probably look at him in pre-season just to make sure, but I think the way he's acclimatised at a top league, I think this guy's a star. He's a star right now.
Because there's so much doing it in like Croatia, Poland and Belgium, and fair play to him for doing that, because it's brilliant stuff. But the Premier League is a different kettle of fish to any of these leagues.
Yeah, I know that, but this guy might be too good for this league. I mean, this guy he's 17 and he's aerially dominant and he's scoring 6 goals. Like, that goes to me. He needs more of a test. He needs to test himself at a higher level.
Yeah. And last but not least, we're going to look at probably the only really unsuccessful loan that we've got on, and that is Alejo Veliz. 21 years of age. He's gone to Espanyol to get minutes, which hasn't really materialised. I mean, he's played 19 games, 10 starts, 942 minutes only, which is on average across 19 games, 50 minutes per game. 1 goal in the league, which came right at the very start. So he hasn't scored in the league since October, which is, really poor. He did get a hat-trick in the Copa del Rey, but that was against like a Division 3 or Division 4 side. So not really that impressive. Expected goals 1.83, 0.8 shots per game, 0.3 shots on target per game, 4 big chances missed, 0 assists, 1 big chances created. I mean, it's just not going too well for Alejo.
Yeah, which is really disappointing and sad because there was a lot of hope for him when he first came here, and he looked bright in some cameos, and his first loan spell was a disaster, and this one's also seemed to be not particularly fruitful either. So it's interesting to see where we go from here. I think the only other route would probably be another loan, because I just don't see him being here in the first team. I don't know if do we want to sell him because has he shown what he can do completely, or have we just not found the right loan move? I think it's possible we could loan him with an option to buy, to be honest, or if someone actually comes in for him giving us our money back, we might sell him. If that doesn't happen, we'll probably just look for another loan move.
I can't really see who's going to offer, because we signed him for 12 million. He's gone to Sevilla last season, pretty much used as a pawn from the manager and the hierarchy. So I mean, that was terrible for him. He's gone to Espanyol in a view to get like consistent minutes. That hasn't happened for him. At the age of 21, I mean, he's not old, obviously. He's still a young player, 21 years of age. But I can't see what kind of club is going to go and spend 12 million on him.
Yeah, I agree, which is probably more likely a loan with an option to buy. It's probably the route that's going to go down.
I think that option, though, will be less than 12 million.
I think the option would be around similar to what, maybe less, but I think it'll be similar to what we paid for him. Because I think if he does well enough to justify them signing him, 12 million is not going to be a massive outlay.
Yeah.
So I think,
well, it depends what kind of club he goes to.
Yeah, of course, but I think that is if I'm going to predict what will happen, I think he'll get a loan with an option to buy in the summer. That's probably the route we'll go down.
Yeah, but very frustrating on Alejo Veliz. But that is.
And what about Ashley Phillips?
Ashley Phillips. Yeah, he's doing actually really well. Ashley Phillips out in Stoke. Look at those bars in terms of his performances. So. And look at that heat map for Ashley Phillips as well, dominating that right-hand side of the defence. 20 games, 20 starts, 1 team of the week. 0.73 expected goals for Ashley Phillips, not scoring any of them, though. 4 big chances missed, actually, for Ashley Phillips, which I'm sure they all come from set pieces because he's a monstrous centre-back. In terms of his defensive numbers, 5 clean sheets, 0.8 interceptions per game, 0.7 tackles per game, 2.1 balls recovered per game, 6 clearances per game. And yeah, this is for a Stoke team as well, which changed their manager halfway through the season. And I believe that at that moment they were changing managers, he settled himself in the team, and then the new manager came in and took him out of the team for a bit, but he's fought his way back into that team, and now he's a starter week in, week out again. Yeah,
it looks like since kind of November time he's been a consistent starter, which is really great for his development, and he seems to be playing. Look, it seems to be quite inconsistent from what I can see. He seems to have some really good performances and also some not so good performances from the ratings anyway, unlike maybe like Vuskovic, who seems to be consistently pretty good. His aerial duels as well, 54%, which is good. He would win the majority of them, but obviously Vuskovic is like 70%. It puts that in perspective, doesn't it? But
you look at his ratings, right? Apart from you got Bristol and Portsmouth here, which is 6.2. None of his other ratings are pretty bad.
Yeah, he kind of flirts between just higher end of 6s and a lower end of 7s. It looks like, which is pretty decent. Obviously, the overall rating says here, he's had a fairly consistent season, to be fair. It looks like 7 in November, 6.9 December, 7 in January, 6.7 in February. So I think it's been pretty good for him. Again, he's only 19, so playing in the Championship regularly is going to help him. Again, another defender who a lot of people we have high hopes for. So I'm another one who battled his way back into the team as well, which is really a great sign of a player with that fighting capability and that belief in himself. So that's really, really good. So hopefully he ends the season really well. If you're asking me who's more likely to come into the first team next season, him or Vuskovic, I guess there's one element you could say. Phillips has been playing playing English football in the Championship, is a bit older. So could he be the one who has more of a right to be in the first team? But I don't know. I just feel like Vuskovic has a higher ceiling than him.
Yeah.
So I think he might be the one, even though he's younger and maybe, I don't know, would you say it's an inferior league? I don't know. Not
The
I don't know if it's fair
Belgian
to-
league to the championship. It's hard to say.
It's
Isn't
hard
it?
to say. I think obviously the top teams in Belgium are probably better than the top teams in the championship. I think that's pretty fair to say. But are the top teams, say, in the championship better than the middle teams in the Belgian league? Maybe.
I want to look at his on the ball ability and what he's been showing on the ball for Stoke, because that's been one of the biggest question marks about Ashley Phillips, of why maybe he wasn't kept here as maybe a backup. He needs to develop that on the ball side of his game. And in terms of what he's showing on the ball, it's 86% accurate passes per game, which is 41.7. 93. What's that accurate own half? What does that mean?
Accurate passes in your own half.
93%. 63% accurate passing in the opposition half. 31% accurate long balls, which is not too many. 44 accurate chip passes, but no crosses.
44%, yeah.
What do you make out of those numbers?
Just shows he's still lacking, I think,
Yeah.
when it comes to... I think when he's playing safe passes, clearly he can do it. When he's mastered the more difficult stuff, he's clearly still struggling a bit.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Ashley Phillips still got some room to grow, like all the other players that we're talking about. I think,
If you compare it to Vuskovic, for example, where is he? Like his passing stats for those are in the opposition half 76%. Long ball 60%, chip passes 62%. So he's clearly a lot more comfortable on the ball.
But I think with Ashley Phillips, again, it's going to be another case of get him down for pre-season, see what level he's really at. And if not, then hopefully he can get a loan maybe to a Premier League team or a lower end of Premier League team, a team that's just got promoted or something.
Yeah.
Or even a championship side that are, really favourites to go up.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, that is your loan report. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Out of all the players that we've spoken about, which players do you think are going to come back to Spurs next season and be part of the first team? Which ones do you think need another loan? Let me know in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always,